Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another review, this time of set 21343, the LEGO Ideas Viking Village. This is the first LEGO Ideas set I've ever purchased, and this one retails for $130 and comes with 2,103 pieces and 4 figures. And I got this on sale for $97. It was on sale on lego.com. It is retiring this year, so that sale is probably, I think it's over by the time this review goes up. But if you are looking to pick up the Viking Village, piece wise, it seems like a good deal. And so if it's a set you've been interested in but maybe you've been holding off, now would be the time to buy it before it retires. On the front here, obviously just shows off the set with, you know, the 18 plus just plain black box, some brown greebling detail on the bottom, says ideas down there. The side shows more of the set with that LEGO Ideas on the bottom and LEGO logo up top. Then the back shows some of the features. The buildings have removable roofs and the different buildings and little areas, as well as some of the figures in action. The other side of the box is nothing, and then the top shows the figures and the shield in 1:1 scale with French or Spanish on the top as well. So, and then you open it up by cutting up the tabs right here. Looks like it comes with a total of 13 bags and then some loose like rope pieces on the side, and the instruction manual comes in that newer paper wrapping. Then the instruction booklet itself is very plain, which is interesting. Usually, I mean, I don't know, it's been a while since I've bought a real big 18 plus set, but usually I think they have more exciting box art. On the back here, it shows some of the process for ideas, telling you that you can submit your ideas and maybe get made in a LEGO set, and showing off some other LEGO Ideas set. That A-frame cabin is unfortunately retired now because that's another one I had my eye on. And then it's showing off the back, but nothing special. So yeah, let's get this set built. All right, before I get to talking about the set, first off, I did fail to mention, mostly through forgetfulness from not having built an 18 plus set in a while, that they do always, of course, put stuff in the front of the instruction manual. So it does talk a little bit about like Viking culture and stuff, and I'm sure it's at least fairly accurate. And they talk about how, of course, they're not trying to go for a historically accurate Viking village, and the figures aren't meant to be historically accurate, you know, the horns on the helmet and all that. And then, of course, it talks about the designers. So there's Brickhammer, who is the one who designed the set. This set was submitted actually twice. So these are the two versions. The first one and the second one that actually made it through. And then they took concepts from both of them and put them into this set for the final product. So some things from like these models, I'm a little sad. No little longship. That's a pretty cool little thing. But I guess, you know, would have bumped up the price or taken away pieces from another build. So at the end of the day, it's not the biggest deal. Pretty cool, both of the models, and obviously I think the final model is excellent as well. I do kind of like the first one the most though, but maybe that's just me. But then it also talks about the LEGO designers who obviously, you know, made changes to the set and, you know, updated it and did their thing, and, you know, worked with Brickhammer to do it. And they did include an Easter egg to them, I believe, with the hammer that the blacksmith has, because if you look here, they include a little LEGO brick hammer, and he has the same hammer with the same like runes on it. So I'm assuming that is the Easter egg they mentioned. They also mentioned that the color of the banners might mean something to a keen-eyed LEGO fan. I'm not sure. My guess is maybe a reference to the older Viking themes or something, but obviously I never owned or collected any of those sets, so I would not know. If you do, then there is that Easter egg as well in the set for you to notice. Now, starting off with the figures, first off is that blacksmith that I mentioned. She's got a very happy face, and 3 of the 4 figures all have just one facial expression, so I'll get to the one that has 2, but she's just looking real happy. If you take off the hair a little bit, she's got a little, I guess, metal like circlet or something, or tattoos. I'm not quite sure. It's probably tattoos because it doesn't look like it's meant to be metallic, or I don't know. It's some little detailing on the top of her head. Nice little ponytail going down. That hammer I mentioned with the little runes, that might be the initials, because that's what they said. It's the runic initials as a little reference to them. And then just like a leather apron. Yeah, a leather apron to, you know, protect from working the metal, you know, working the fire, and then a little paintbrush to paint the shields after they're done. And on the back is some hammers and a little Viking helmet with horns. Next up is like an archer guy, and he's got like really nice little fur detailing on the top there with some buckles holding it on, and then some pouches lower down with, you know, maybe that's some form of armor, some form of like gambeson or something. I'm not sure. And then some orange lower pants and stuff with like some rune detailing or whatever, some little detailing on the hips, and then one facial expression with some tattoos and a happy grin, bow and arrow. Really cool Viking helmet with the horns. There's 2 included in the set. On the back of him is just some more of that fur from his shoulders going down his back with another little pouch. And then a little deer on the back as well. So that's pretty nice little detailing. Then there's the chieftain, I believe. I mean, you get him when you build the central longhouse, which has a little throne. So he looks really cool. I think probably my favorite figure of them all. The shield detailing is supposed to be wolves, which is obviously fairly significant in Norse mythology. There's plenty of different significant wolves, so pretty cool that they included that. A really nice sword as well. It looks really good. I think it was the first time I've ever had like one of these swords, so that's pretty cool. And then he's just got some like, I don't know, I guess plate armor on, leather, and over like with a tattered cloth sort of thrown over it, and that goes onto his back with that same sort of armory detail. And then just some like ropes and stuff down on his legs and some boots. And then same thing, no facial expression, or no second one, but just I don't know, pretty neutral old man face with a big old beard and mustache. Lastly, there is like a warrior lady. Her shield has some kind of bird. My guess would be ravens, because that's another pretty significant one, you know, the Odin's ravens and all that, but it could be a different kind of bird that I'm not remembering that is also significant. She is the only one with 2 facial expressions. She's got this really nice braids hairpiece, and then she's got like a serious cocky grin, a cheekier smile, I guess I'll call it. And then she's also wearing like some gray kind of armor that goes onto the front as well, obviously, with some little like pauldrons on the top, and then some like chainmail going down, and a little like battle skirt kind of thing. Probably not the right term for that, but that's always just what I've gone by calling them. So the 4 figures in total, all really very awesome, very cool to have. These 4 figures, and then building this set in general, and just like having it and really admiring how good it looks, they're really giving me the desire to buy some more Viking and castle themed stuff, because there is a couple of cheaper sets out there available for that sort of thing. But moving on to the build itself, it's split into 3 sections, so technically it takes a little bit of effort, but you can split them off into 3, so I think that's how I'll look at them, make it easier to go into detail with them. So I'll start in just build order. So the blacksmith, the main longhouse, and then like the tower. So starting off with the smallest of the buildings, the blacksmith's hut. Out in front here, it's got a little like rock plaque, I guess, with really neat printed like longhorn with a big serpent, probably the world serpent would be my guess. And there's a couple other like serpents and stuff, printed pieces throughout the set that I will also show when I get to those. And then just like going around on the outside is just some rocks, like a rocky path that goes throughout the village, as well as some white pieces representing like the start of some snowfall, and the trees reflect that as well. All right, topped with some snow, topped with some snow. And then the roofs would be the same, right? There's some snow on the roofs. And then right here is where you connect everything, and it's like this on the other parts as well. The central longhouse part has little clips, which have actually pulled off when I separated them, so I guess that's something. They should go back on pretty easily though. But they just clip on, and the tower section clips on onto the longhouse section, and it all clips together pretty easily, and then you've got the full village assembled. But if for whatever reason you want to split them up, you can do that pretty easily as well. But again, exterior, little chimney for the forge. The only thing I don't like is, I guess, the white, like, for smoke. But I guess it's probably the best you can do. I don't know if there'd be, like, the right kind of gray for it, but I've seen plenty of fire and smoke from fire. Smoke isn't, I don't know, at least to me, it's never really white. It's much grayer, but that's just me, I guess. But some nice golden windows on the outside. Pretty simple exterior, but, I mean, it obviously works as a little simple Viking village blacksmith. And then, obviously, every roof is detachable for all the main buildings, so you can just pull that one off. And then starting off the little forge right here, you can stoke the flames pretty simply just by pressing that. There's an anvil, there is a bucket of tools right there, and then right in there is the table with an unpainted shield, a helmet that's being made, and then some clips to hold any other projects the blacksmith might be working on, as well as like a little candle to see by. And then right near the forge is a bucket of water as well to stamp out any fires. So it's a pretty small building, not a ton of details, but it's really fun to build, I will say. And then it's pretty simple to slide the roof right back in, and then there it is in proper shape. Moving on to the longhouse is where you start to see some dock forming right here, with, again, some more snowfall and rocks right outside in front, with obviously some water detailing. See, it's all on blue plates, you know, so it's supposed to be on like an island. But this is where you start to see some like waves lapping at the docks and at the shore. The back is pretty simple, just a little bit of snow detailing and a little bit of growth, some algae or whatever else would be growing on the rocks. And then the roofs as well have that same snow detailing. And then pretty simple but pretty fun build doing this. It's got some pretty intricate little windows. It's asymmetrical, so there's two on one side and one on the other. Pretty nice doors out front with that detailing of some nice gold, like, thread, I guess. And then you can open up the doors. Obviously, you won't be able to see much inside, so I'll have to be removing that roof. But still, real nice little doors that you can open and shut pretty nicely. And they look quite good. And then, just like the blacksmith shop, the roof comes off real easily. And, I mean, it can be moved, but obviously it just stays like that to actually be a roof. It's got that same like gold thread on here as in above the front door, and some golden hot dogs, of course, included. This part can also be moved around a little bit. Again, it usually just stays like that to look real nice and proper. But to take it inside, there is on this side a shield, spear, and axe, and then some banners on the wall along with that throne, a goblet, and a candle. Nothing on this wall except a little table with another goblet and a turkey leg. And then in there is a fire with a little pan above it, ready to cook up anything the Vikings want to eat. And then that is pretty much it. And you just, same thing, close it back up pretty easily. Probably have two hands to do that with though, so it's just a matter. I find this one takes maybe a bit of finagling, where the blacksmith one is a little more simple, but at the end of the day, it's not complicated. It just takes finding exactly where it fits in properly, but that is the longhouse. And last but not least is the biggest section of the 3 builds, and this one has much more of the dock extending all the way over here, and you can see some little kegs with, you know, some ale or whatever else would be in them, and then some more of that snow and rock just like on the other 2. And on the back here, it was a pretty fun little thing for how they did the keg. It's just it's on a clip, so it went on like that, and then you just flip it up. Not crazy. Moving over to the little cave detailing for what the tower sits on. This was really fun to build. I really liked building the rocks and stuff, especially where these stairs come together. Really, really fun, like really cool building techniques for how they put that all together. It was definitely a standout experience for building. Obviously, I always enjoy building Lego. That is part of the reason I'm into the hobby. But this was, I think, just especially a standout. Inside's pretty simple. It's just got some like iron ore sitting in there, and then nothing really else. It's just kind of a cavernous opening. You can stick a figure in there to have him go mining with the pickaxe that is in the blacksmith shop. And then I guess lastly, before going up onto the building details, there is some fish hanging out to dry, and you know, the green one is either gone bad or that's just the color of the fish, I don't know. But then moving on, there's a little outpost tower with a little shield and a flag that obviously came off pretty easily. It's on a 1-stud connection. And then that little rope bridge going along, which is probably my least favorite part of the build. It was kind of a pain for me personally, but still looks pretty good, at least to me. Then in here, you've got another door. This one less intricate than the chief's like longhouse, meeting place, whatever. So pretty simple, no golden handles or nothing. Then this part actually pulls away, so you can see inside the tower, there's a little pumpkin, a little ladder, so you can climb up the figure that comes in through the door, and then nothing much up above. And this roof doesn't really pull off. Like, I mean, you could. Obviously, it's all Lego. It's not glued in there, but I don't see much point to it. So that is all 3 sections of the Viking village. And there it all is back together. Pretty easy process. And honestly, this is a definite pickup if you're watching this anytime soon after the release of this video and you're interested in like Viking stuff and you think it's cool. This is a really cool pickup, and I think it's definitely worth it while it's available on retail. And if it's not available at retail and you're watching this part and you're still interested in the set, I think to a degree it'd still be worth it on the aftermarket for a reasonable price. For me personally, I think I'd be willing to spend upwards of maybe 150, 160 on this. I think 200 would be my max on it, but definitely a really cool set, really awesome to have. And I hope to get more Viking stuff for castle stuff, because this has been really cool. But that is all I have for today. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see more, leave a like, subscribe, do all that, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.